I'll be showing 6 new AI-powered features in the Teach module for educators. This includes standards alignment, modify reading level, add supporting examples and differentiating instructions, and the new fill in the blanks and matching learning activities. So let's get started. I'm signed in at Microsoft365.com and I've landed on chat right here. And the first step is, as an educator or staff, if you're signed in with your educator account, you will see this Teach module on the left, and I will click this. For a deep dive into the Teach module, in the upper right, there's a link. Today, we're going to cover the newest updates, and you'll see your teaching tools here. Now, the first 4 set of updates are modify existing content, and I will click here. And there are 4 new features: align to standards, differentiate instructions, modify reading level, and add supporting examples. Let's go into the first option, align to standards. This lets me paste any content or upload a file and quickly align it to standards, and we'll show how that works. I could go to File, and I could add content, and I could choose a file for my desktop or from OneDrive. Let's just upload a file to show what that looks like. I've added Revolutionary War causes. Now you can also add PDFs and other things. I'm just going to X this out because we're going to show just basic text, and I'm going to paste in my text. This is students investigating several major causes of the American Revolutionary War, and there's some other information. Now I'm just going to click Add Standards, and this lets you choose a standard set. Now if I drop this down, there are a ton of different standards. We've got countries, over 35 countries with more coming. I know many from the UK have asked about England standards and UK GCSEs, etc. Those are all here, and Scotland and Northern Ireland, all the UK standards for those of you who are asking. And also, I'm going to just show you can search in this upper box. So I'm going to delete all this, and we're just going to search, and I'm just going to search for England. And there's the England National Curriculum. So you can search up there. In addition, some of you might say, hey, I don't see my country's standards. Well, we just put out a blog, here it is, and we're showing all the new standards that we've recently added, a ton of countries, very recently in the last couple of weeks. And then coming this week, we have more: Finland, Lithuania, Norway, etc. And then a roadmap for more standards that are coming in the next 2 months. So we're going to be posting this blog regularly. There's a link in the description that has this blog. In addition, there's a link on the screen right now, and it's also in the description, where you can request your country's standards if you don't see them. But in my case, we're going to go back. I've gotten my Washington State K-12 learning standards. I'll select the grade. We'll say grade 10. We'll do the subject. We will do social studies, and then the strand, and that is history. And it pulls up all the Washington State standards. So I can expand this about the causal factors, and I can say, hey, I'd like these couple standards here, and it says view selected. So if I want to see which ones, those are what I've chosen. I could clear or delete, but in this case, I'm just going to say add. Now it's added these 3 standards, and the AI is going to reason over the text here and align it to standards, and I'll click generate. So here we go. Very quickly, it has standards aligned. There's an alignment map at the bottom, which is really nice. I could change the language if I want. We support many different languages. I could add more standards. I could regenerate content. I could also add things right here. So I might say include examples of specific cultural group contributions, and I'll say regenerate content. And now it did that. It added in how cultures and ethnic groups influence colonial attitudes. What's really nice is it keeps my original draft. So right here, if I go draft, it goes back to the original one, and it can switch back and forth. And when I'm done, I click Save to OneDrive. And I'm just going to choose Save here, but you could choose different options. Great, it saved it into OneDrive as a Word document. If I click View Document, there is my standards aligned document on the causes of the Revolutionary War. I'll choose Return to Homepage. By the way, if you want no fluff Microsoft updates and practical tips, subscribe, because that's exactly what this channel is all about. So that was aligned to standards. The second feature is differentiate instructions. This is also under modify existing content. We'll click in here, and just like before, I can upload a file for my grounding, or I can just paste in text. So I'm going to paste in text. This is about reading the excerpt of Edgar Allan Poe, and this is an English assignment. So I'll select the grade level here. And let's say I want to do grade 9. What scaffolds would I like? I would like to have an example answer in here, but you can also have step-by-step or hints, but we'll have, hey, here's an example answer. And what's the length? I will choose an expanded length, and let's hit generate. Okay, so here are the instructions, and it gives an example of how you might do it, and example answers. I could go over on the right, and just like before, I could change things. So maybe I want to choose step by step. Maybe I want to choose hints. You can explore those things. I could even change the language if I want, or I could add more suggestions up here. And just like before, I could save it to OneDrive. I could also copy this if I just want to copy and maybe paste it into a document or an email or somewhere else. So you can easily copy the text or save it to OneDrive just like before. And I'll just hit save here. And now that is saved off to a document. We'll go back to the homepage. The third feature is modify reading level. This has been one of our most popular ones with educators. I can easily modify any content to different types of grade levels, and I can have multiples that I do. It could be people who are struggling with reading. It could be non-native speakers, many different options. I'm going to get some science content in this case, so I'll paste in our content. So here's some scientific content about photosynthesis, and maybe this is for my 10th grade biology class, but I want to modify the reading level for a grade 8 level. Now down here, the AI has analyzed all the words, and there's some scientific words here that I don't want modified. So I want to modify the reading level, but I want to preserve these key terms. So you can see lots of different options here. I'm just going to choose add all. I'd like it to preserve all these key terms. You can also, with a single flip of the switch, say add a glossary to define key terms at the end of the content. Now let's hit generate. Great, so it's modified the reading level. It's simplified it right here to grade 8 level. It has the glossary right here, and it has preserved the key terms like chloroplast and chlorophyll. You can also add more key terms if you want to preserve. You can choose a different reading level, have different drafts up above, and then saving it to OneDrive when I'm done. Single click. The last modify existing content feature is adding supporting examples. This lets you enhance your text with relevant real-world examples or scientific examples or historical. Just like before, same dialogue, I can paste in text or upload a file. I'm going to paste in some text here. I've got Newton's second law, so we have some physics text, and I want to have 3 different examples. You can choose 1, 2, or 3. Then, which type of example would you like? Real world, scientific, historical. I'll choose real world. And what is the depth of detail? I'd like it to be deep. And we'll hit generate. Great, so Newton's second law, and here are 3 different examples about kicking a soccer ball, or in car safety, how engineers are using Newton's second law, or when riding a bicycle, etc. You can go and say, you know what, instead of real world examples, maybe I want scientific examples, and I can choose regenerate. Great, it has laboratory experiments and how scientists use frictionless cart on a track, spacecraft engineers, and physicists. So really cool way to make your examples more relevant to your students. And you can go and using this same hand right panel, you can tweak this easily. And we'll go back. Features 5 and 6 are these new study aids, which are essentially learning activities. We've recently launched fill in the blanks and matching globally, so all folks can try them out, whether you're an educator or students can use it on their own. The other thing I'll mention about these study aids, these learning activities, is that teachers can create them right here under Teaching Tools, but they're also found in Teams for Education now. I'm just going to briefly show that so folks are aware. I'm signed into Teams for Education, and I'm going to go to Classwork. Now let's say I have a unit. I've created a unit in Classwork. I'll go into it. Under the plus menu, you're going to see Create with Copilot. And if I choose that, flashcards, fill in the blanks, and matching are all rolled out. So they're actually available in Teams right now. A lot of folks don't know it. It's in Classwork. But I will switch back into Copilot and under the Teach module. So let's try matching. Now in the upper right, there's a very deep dive. I go into matching that shows the end-to-end scenario. I'm just going to show a quick version here. So I'm going to paste in some learning content about Greek gods and goddesses. Okay, here we go. Here's my learning content. Just like before, you can add a file for grounding if you want, so a Word document or a PowerPoint deck, etc. Choose your language. And then you can add the leaderboard. And the leaderboard is what students really love. They can compete against each other, and it shows the top 5 fastest times. They can also share these with themselves, so you don't even need to be an educator. Students can try these on their own. We have a learning activities app for that. I show it in my deep dive video. And then custom nicknames. So let's choose generate. Okay, so it's generated some Greek gods and goddesses, and now I could generate more if I wanted to, if my content had more. I'm just going to show the preview of what that looks like. So the student would give themselves a nickname. So I'm going to be matching Mike and then start the game. Okay, so now I'm going to go and say Poseidon. Let's see, god of the sea, Zeus, king of the gods. Now, if I get one wrong, Apollo. Oh, that one was wrong. Oh, I think he's the god of the sun. Athena is wisdom, and Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty. And right here, you can see the timer is going. So I hit there, and I'm done. So it gives my time, there's a matching streak, and there's accuracy. And if there were multiple students playing this, there would be a leaderboard. And that's what students really like. So I'm going to exit preview mode. Now, when I'm done, as a teacher, I hit save activity, and now it is saved to my history. If I view matching here, it loads up the matching activity, and now I can share this out with my student. So I click share, and I can give my students a join code, or I can copy this link and give it to them. And it'll show me how many students played, the total times played, who has the fastest time, and here are the different terms right here. I can edit those and tweak it. Again, I've got a deep dive video that'll show exactly how all this works. I'm just showing you the simple version of how to create these. Now, back in the Teach module, we'll go back here. I also want to show fill in the blanks. So click here. This is fully rolled out. I'm going to paste in that same learning content. We're going to show Greek gods and goddesses. I can upload a file just like before, choose your language. You can allow AI to edit content or just use the text as entered. We're going to say AI is going to edit it. And you can make the difficulty rating. So fill in the blanks is easy, medium, or challenging. And click generate. So this is going to generate a nice fill in the blanks activity that I can share with my students. So here it is, all the different Greek gods and goddesses. I can edit these things so I can generate more. I can say make more fill in the blank activities. So I've got two different activities. Now let's say that, this first one, that's a little bit long. I'm going to say edit this one. We're going to delete that. And we're just going to keep this one. Now I'm going to go and say preview to show what it looks like. So I've got Zeus was the king of the gods and ruled the, did he rule the lion? Maybe. Hera was the goddess of marriage, and so I filled in my blanks and I'll check it. Oh, I missed this one and this one. So I can say show the answers. Oh, it's family and sky. So I can say continue. And then at the end, it shows me how many I missed and how many I solved and a nice little donut chart. I could retry the missed ones or I can start over. So that's a quick preview of how that works with fill in the blanks. Just like with matching, I choose save activity and it's going to save that to my learning activities. If I choose fill in the blanks, it launches it. And now I can share this with my students. I can edit it and I can see how my students are doing and who's completed it and their average score. And we'll go back to the Teach module. The last thing I'll show is that under curriculum planning, you will see Minecraft Education Lesson Plan. That says coming soon. That should be rolling out in April of 2026. So very, very soon. Also, we have unit plans coming later in spring. So stay tuned for unit plans.